Record.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Super Subs podcast, hosted by Harish and Narv. I know we've taken a few weeks off here now. Um, we've been quite busy in our personal lives, but we're back. Um,
Moved
eh,
moved countries.
yeah, I'm out here in London. I'm on the Stamford Bridge pitch right now, uh, hosting this podcast. Narvin's in Manchester. It's a sunny day over there.
It's nighttime there. Interesting.
Um, so it's been, the main thing that's been happening is just the FIFA Club World Cup, but and we've been kind of watching those games. But today's focus on this episode is we'll be playing a game. This is Tinder, but football edition. So what we're gonna do is go through a couple of different categories, and there will be statements, and we're going to swipe left or right depending on if we agree or disagree. And kind of the categories are first we'll go through potential transfers and transfers that have already happened this year, swiping whether or not we think it's a good fit or not for the team. And then we will go through some hot takes. We will talk about whether or not we agree or disagree. And then we'll go through some takes with managers as well, managerial changes. And then lastly, we're going to go through some leaked jerseys and jerseys that have been announced for this coming year and whether we'd smash or pass.
Speaking of jerseys, that jersey's pretty clean.
Oh yeah, I got the Cole Palmer jersey from last year. Um, Need to update the number though.
Oh, you got the 20?
Yeah, the 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Who's on your shirt? Is it just Inter?
it's old school, so it's from the '09. Um, Probably one of my favorite strikers, uh, Diego Militao.
Militao?
Yeah.
Nice. Classic.
Um, so I guess I should. You want me to go ahead and share?
Yeah, let's hop into it.
Alrighty.
All right. Football Tinder. All right. If you want to go to the next one. So again, we'll start first with transfers and rumors as well. So first one, Embuemo to Manchester.
Oh, that's an easy swipe to the right.
You're skipping?
Or swipe to the left.
You're
Yeah,
swiping? Yeah.
swiping.
I think I'd swipe too.
Are we taking price into consideration or just how they fit?
Yeah, as a transfer as a whole.
I think as long as we're not uh going past like 80 mil for him, easy swipe left.
Yeah, I think he's definitely a swipe, not a skip, because I feel like especially with Amarin's system, and you guys secured Cunha already,
Hmm.
I think that would be a pretty good like striking force there. And Buemo too, I know he was mostly stuck out playing on the right side, but he's pretty versatile. Like he can play both wings, and then he can also play like through the middle too.
Exactly.
Alrighty, next we got Eze to Spurs.
I would say skip.
You would skip? Oh, this is
Just
an
'cause
easy swipe for me.
I think they're kind of already like it'd be an upgrade, but I don't know if they would really need him.
I feel like they definitely need a player like Eze, especially with Champions League coming up for them. And then like where they struggle the most is like breaking down the low block teams. And I feel like Eze is definitely a player that can like unlock that for them.
Hmm.
I think the transfer fee that they're discussing is north of 65 million, which is hefty, but like I don't know for Tottenham.
They
I
got
feel
back some money now that they just won the Europa.
yeah, exactly. Um, and I feel like it just fits him well, especially with Thomas Frank. Like we saw how Damsgaard really
Hmm.
improved his game under Thomas Frank, and then like he definitely works hard, but like he doesn't really have to worry about like, the defensive part of the game as much, just because Tottenham's like pretty solid with like Basuma and
Yeah.
uh, like they're holding midfielders.
He definitely be like one of those luxury players that just focus on the attack for you.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. You just because they already have like Madison and Kulusevski who can kind of play that role too. Um, I feel like
Do
they kind of need more of a replacement for like Sonny, who's kind of getting up there on age.
but they do have Tell though. They got him permanently.
Oh, that's right.
But don't you think Eze would start like
Over,
over
I
both?
think, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll swipe. Swipe to the
Swipe.
left.
Okay.
All right, this one skip.
You're skipping Nico
Yeah,
Williams?
honestly, I don't see the biggest hype on this kid. I don't want to be too harsh because I know he's quite young, but I feel like the hype around him was like really back of the Euros. But like whenever I watch him, I don't see anything like crazy special about him.
I feel like he always turns up with Spain, and then with Bilbao, he's not at the same level necessarily, but like he also isn't surrounded by the best attacking talent at Bilbao, and he's always getting like multiple defenders on him.
Hmm.
But like him at Barca, dude, him on one side and Lamine, like that's basically what Spain is doing, and Spain are almost unstoppable right now.
Oh, this is a tricky one. This one might have to be a agree to disagree. I'm
You
s-
think so? You don't think
I
there's
would
like a
keep Rafinha starting over him if he made the move.
you think Rafinha is better than Nico Williams
Yeah, I
as
think
a
he's
winger?
bit more
Wow.
tasty.
Yeah, I think Nico Williams is like levels above Rafinha.
Levels? Oh wow.
Yeah, and he's pretty young still, right? Nico Williams?
Yeah, he's under 25, I think. Or
Yeah.
I think he might be like 22. He's super young.
But I will say like even despite like the skill set like who you think is better, he definitely fits into like Flick's system though. Like he
Oh,
would
that yeah, he would fit in.
come in seamlessly.
What's Do you know his asking price off the top?
That I'm not sure, but I know Bilbao fans are gonna like hate him if he leaves.
Hmm. His brother's already a legend for Bilbao, so all right. I wonder who we got next. Oh, I saw this rumor happening.
All right, I'll let you take this one first. Swipe or skip.
I think honestly, for the price that Dortmund's asking is a kind of a steal. Like he's really young, and I think you see a lot of the potential. I think he can really develop at Chelsea to take his game to the next level. He's definitely not like the finished article, but he has a lot of attributes and just the intangibles too. I think that could make him a top player.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything you said. And also just like we talked about the last episode about Pedro Neto, like how he's good, but the one thing that kind of scares us is him being able to stay healthy throughout a season, and especially now with like Champions League, like we blew through the Conference League. So it's a different level, So it'll be good to have reinforcement. And he also like still a super young player, but already has experience in like the Champions League and that competition.
Hmm. And he's kind of just uh he's he'll be a different type of winger than the options you guys already have because he's not like just I think Pedernetta definitely is like a speed demon, whereas
Hmm.
Gittins kind of has more of the skills and tries to beat his man, like square him up to beat him.
Yeah. And like Mudryk too, there's still kind of uncertainty around him. So we definitely kind of need to shore up some more wingers.
Hmm.
So I feel like that was a needed signing.
Yeah. Sesko. It's crazy. I've been on this Sesko hype train like ever since he started at Salzburg, but he's like a moments guy,
Hmm.
and
And keep in mind, he's going to be around 80 mil, right?
I think they were
Or even
asking upwards to 100 mil.
100.
I think for the price, he's just not. I think Arsenal need a finished product, not a moments type player.
Yeah, I mean, he is still really young, but like where Arsenal is right now, like they need, yeah, to your point, they're on Arteta phase, like what, 7 now? Like they need someone that can come in and they're gonna kind of get the job done for you.
Hmm. Yeah, it's he'll be a risky one. Like obviously, like the payoff would be like you got an elite striker for a really long time, but then on the back end of it, you're taking a risk of someone that's just not established and then could, like the Hoyland effect, just struggle to adapt. I
Yeah.
do like how his like for a big man, his link up plays like really nice and like some of the finishes
Mhm.
he produces are like crazy, but yeah, it's just not week in and week out.
Yeah, even in the Euros too, like that was one of the big stages he had, and Bundesliga is definitely one of the weaker top leagues, but the Euros he looked quite poor, and his finishing, like it was just you would expect more out of $100 million player.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think he was even like their. I mean, he was not bad, but like for that team on that team internationally, he wasn't even the best player on that squad
Yeah.
at tournament. So
So are we both skipping on this one?
unfortunately, I'd say skip. Sorry, buddy. Oh, Wirtz. This
All
one's
right.
confirmed,
Yeah, this one has happened.
and it was upwards to 150 mil.
Ooh, potentially, yeah. So far I think it's like 110, but like depending on all the add-ons and achievements. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. Now that's because I was telling you about Wirtz, how I'm a big fan of him, but I'm definitely going to be on the hate watch this season just because of the price tag. Just for the price tag itself, I'm a skip. I know he's generational, but I'm putting the same hate like people had on Pogba on
Hmm.
Wirtz for that price tag.
Nah, I feel like Wirtz is so you're skipping with that
Hmm.
price tag? Yeah, even with that price tag, I'm swiping. Yes. I think he's gonna fit this Liverpool team like perfectly because his style kind of reminds me a little of like Coutinho, and I don't know if you remember like Coutinho and Salah, like they didn't get to play for long, but like when they did, they were nasty, and I could see him bringing that type of play into his game. But I also see him as like almost the next David Silva when he was in the Premier League, and
Like deeper in the midfield, or
no, like his creativity and like
oh,
just being able
gotcha.
to unlock like
Mm.
crazy passes, like him, Coutinho, like that type of player. But Liverpool too, they haven't spent too much money with like a big name signings, especially last year. Chiesa was really their only signing, so I feel like they can definitely afford this type of player, and I think he's assuming he can stay healthy and doesn't. He did have a pretty bad injury recently, but knock on wood, nothing happens. I feel like you got to grab him no matter what.
Yeah, if it was like for maybe 100 to like one, like under like 120s, I'd say swipe, but 150 is just like crazy.
But dude, I don't know if there's another attacking mid like in his role where he can also play like coming off the wing too.
I know one, his
Mm,
international counterpart.
Musiala.
Yeah. I'm a bigger
Who-
fan of Musiala than Wirtz, but
Yeah, I prefer Wirtz, but
uh,
I mean Musiala is talented too, but I feel like you can't give up on a guy like you have to take him. For 150 mil, I don't think that's too bad.
what? 150 mil?
For generational like you don't see these types of players come around that often. The only thing that kind of scares me is his injury history. That's the only thing that scares me.
Especially with the Prem being another level of
Yeah.
physicality. Yeah. Yeah, this one's another agree to
Skip.
disagree.
Okay. Yep.
But yeah, that was a
I,
good point by you. Just Liverpool not really spending. They definitely have like money in the bank.
and they definitely need to kind of revive their squad a little. It's definitely aging.
Hmm. Yeah.
Damn, dude, you're picky on Tinder, man.
This one, I think swipe. Swipe.
E
I think easy swipe.
Dude, we have different tastes, bro. I'm skipping on this one.
Really? I think
Yeah.
he's a swipe just because he'd be cheaper than Nico Williams. I think he's better than Nico Williams. I know form's a bit off, but
You think
Rashford,
he's better than
Ra
Nico
Ra
Will
Rashford at his best, better than Nico Williams at his
Bro,
best.
how often do we even see Rashford at his best? Even at his best, though, Nico Williams' average day is better than Rashford's best. But my big issue is the financial situation. Like Barca need to free up space, and I think Rashford's wages are pretty expensive, no?
I saw reports that he said he's willing to take a cut though, because he really wants to move. Um,
Uh,
but even with the cut, yeah, I feel like his wages would be pretty high.
but at Barca, I do not see him in any starting role at all.
I think he could rotate in that Rafinha position, no? Have that left wing position right open.
Come off the bench.
Hmm. Or even like Champions League group stage games, kind of just, or the league phase, just rotate, start here
So,
and there.
so you're comparing a guy that would come off the bench at Barca versus Nico Williams, who would be shoe-in starter, and you're saying he's better than Nico Williams?
I think so,
Dude, that's crazy.
dude. Rashford at Barca would be an easy fit, I think.
Yeah, again, like Nico Williams, he would fit in well with Hansi Flick just because he's pretty direct, high winger, but Hansi Flick also asks a lot like defensively, I feel like, from his wingers to
Hmm.
track back.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be one issue, but on the attack, it'd be scary hours.
I don't know, man.
That La Liga level is a bit, it's still elite, but not to the level of Prem, so I think it'd be easy for Rashford. Not easy, but I think he would thrive.
We might have to agree to disagree on this one too.
Mm, shame. Oh, Xavi Simmons. I feel like he's the only like, you know how you always see those Instagram videos like the Wonder Kids?
Yeah,
He's like the one that's like
actually
kind
lived
of
up.
lived up. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh,
he's still what, 23, 22, something like that?
yeah, he's quite young still. At Newcastle, Xavi Simmons.
Dude, I'm easily swiping on this one.
He would definitely provide a different element to them.
Hmm.
Swipe.
And I feel like Eddie Howe too, like he can play the number 10 role, but he can also play like he's played a lot coming off like the wing too.
That inverted.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah, I
feel
think
like
that's
that
the
that
easy
would be
swipe.
that'd be nice. And again, like we talked about, he's not world class, but he's definitely pretty elite. And considering he's only 22, 23, like this is gonna help Newcastle's like long-term ambitions too.
And he was one of those in the Euros. I think he even got his like stocks up even higher with his performances. He's pretty elite for the Dutch team.
But I mean, if you look at the Newcastle squad, um, like for to your point, like Dut for the Dutch team, he definitely like was a shoe-in starter, But do you see that with Newcastle?
I wouldn't see him being a shoe-in starter each and every game. I think it would just kind of depend on the opponents. Um, he would definitely like he would definitely be a starter at some games, and then but he would definitely come in like each game, whether start or sub, just because he's one of those versatile, as you mentioned, and then
Hmm.
just gives you a different type of element, but not one that I think would be like a shoe in every game.
Yeah, it would definitely increase the competition
Oh yeah, for
in
sure.
that locker room.
hmm Next, Adeyemi to Arsenal. What's the price tag? Do you know? Any
I'm not sure.
chance?
Let me look this one up.
Depending on what you say for the price, well,
Before I tell you, what would you pay him? What do you think he's valued?
I wouldn't go over 60 mil.
Okay, yeah, he's figured around 50 to 60 mil.
I'll swipe then.
Yeah, I'm swiping as well. It's definitely like a much cheaper option than like Rodrigo, but he would be a huge boost over Martinelli.
I think so. Uh, yeah,
And
50 to
then
50 mil would be pretty reasonable.
yeah. And Arsenal definitely like they still need to get a striker for sure, like a proper striker, but like they have if he was on Arsenal this past season, he definitely could have helped out like playing centrally as well because he's done that for Dortmund.
hmm Uh, I don't think he would have it on here, just because it's like a lower name, but I found it really funny. Arsenal ended up signing another center back.
Did they really?
Yeah, from like Valencia, that Masquera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Adeyemi, I like that.
Yeah. He'd fit Arteta's system perfect.
Exactly. Pogba to Monaco, just because it's Pogba back, it's a swipe. On his
Yeah.
day one, the most joyful to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see him being like the star man necessarily, but I'm swiping just because it's Pogba.
Yeah, I hope
Really.
I hope he still got it.
But I think for him, like where he is now in his career, this is like a perfect team to play for. Like they're gonna get Champions League, so he'll be on like the big stage again.
hmm
Um, but he's also like Monaco's not like one of the larger teams, so he doesn't have to like, be in the media headlights
Yeah.
as much. And
hmm
Liga, I'm not. Liga's definitely impressed me this past year a little more than historically, but still, it's not like it's going to be as demanding as if he was in the Premier League still.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and then to your point, also Monaco is just a good fit because it has a lot of mix of like veterans and their young players are like super young. Um, so it's a good blend.
Yeah, they have a pretty decent squad around them.
That attack force is kind of scary for them.
Yeah.
We're
It-
definitely going to be tuning into more Ligue 1 again this coming year, though.
oh yeah, for sure.
All right,
And then didn't they just get Eric Dyer too?
Monaco?
Yeah, I think they did.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So, I mean, their defense. decent midfield now. They got Pogba and uh, Zachariah and Minamino. So,
Hmm.
and then there's one attacker though. I think he's being that youngster.
The
I think
Moroccan.
yeah, he's being targeted by a bunch of teams, but I think United's kind of in the question too.
He's he's pretty saucy, and I think his price tag's pretty cheap. Uh, but he's kind of one for the future. Let's see who we got next. Oh, and Kunku.
As I was putting this together, I was like, I can't use a Chelsea picture. I need to use a Leipzig, but then I was like, ah, nah, let me just use Chelsea. This man's been a huge disappointment so far.
I think, I mean, he needs like the role he would play at United would definitely be the one that suits him. I think if you guys do sell him, it'd be for quite cheap because you guys just need to cut your losses. So in
Hmm.
that way, I would swipe because I think we would kind of just pay pennies for him for a role that we know that he would probably fit. And like, if it doesn't work out at United, then it's like, then we just cut our losses because we don't even pay that much for him. So I would actually take it as a swipe.
Yeah, I think I would swipe too for United, um, because you saw the talent in him, but when he came to the Prem, like I don't know, maybe he just needs a little more time to prove himself. But you know, like the raw talent that he has, and like you said, he didn't really fit in as like a true striker for us, and he's not really a winger, and so he definitely fits into that Amarin system better.
And to be fair, nah, I don't know if I should use it as an excuse, but like he did have quite a bit of injuries with you guys. Um,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Whew. Oh, this would be crazy.
I know Xavi Alonso really wants him.
Oh, I think he would fit in really well at Madrid.
He'd be a perfect replacement for Modric.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
basically the Modric replacement. I think that's the easy swipe.
Yeah, swipe. I don't think we have to talk much about him.
Mm-mm. You think he's Pedri uh Pedri Bellingham gets like the shouts of like best midfielders in the world.
Hmm.
Is up there, I think.
Yeah, for sure. The way he's able to control the game
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
and his passing range too, just yeah, he'd fit in well.
Harvey Elliott to Spurs. I think this one I'd swipe. It's similar to the Eze situation where, but I don't think he'll be as expensive as Eze. Um,
Hmm.
and so for that reason, yeah, I'd swipe.
Yeah, I think I would definitely have Eze as the priority for Spurs. If I was Thomas Frank, that would definitely be my number one option. But Mandums need different options, so maybe
I know you're a
Harvey.
big fan of Harvey Elliott too.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of him. It's just he does lack some physicality, which scares me. And especially the way Thomas Frank likes to play. I don't know. I feel like maybe a more possession-based team would fit better. I know there's been link so with Brighton. I feel like that would fit him better, but I mean, we've seen the talent of his at Liverpool, and he would definitely attacking wise fit in well.
Yeah, another one that's also very versatile, can play in that 10,
Hmm.
or even out there on the wing. All right, so we both swipe
Yep.
on Elliott. Anthony to Betis. Uh, I think that's a swipe.
Yeah, you saw how successful he was. fitting
Successful
well.
and happy. Yeah.
Hmm.
He loved Betis. I think that's
I
the
just, yeah, it was an easy one, but I just wanted to throw it in there for vibes.
Ooh. Already thinking about coming back to Europe?
Yeah, there's been talks. Um,
That'd be
I,
a swipe.
I think I'm skipping on this one.
Interesting.
Not because I don't rate him. I definitely do, but he's just reports have shown that he's going to be quite expensive.
Mm.
Um, and I feel like Napoli, especially with Conte, he's successful with any striker, can turn them around. And one striker that's on their short list that I think is a better option that will save them a lot of money is Darwin Núñez.
Do you know what Duran's asking fee would be?
I'm not sure, but I know like the financial situation is kind of holding up this talk.
Okay. Yeah, I've been seeing the Nunez rumors, but I hadn't seen this one. Yeah, Darwin would definitely be a cheaper alternative who would I think fit in also.
Hmm. But you'll still swipe for Duran.
Um, yeah, especially with Champions League ball,
Mm.
bringing in someone else that's elite.
Yeah, and they can, I guess, yeah, I would probably swipe too because I think they can probably sell Osimhen, make some money there.
Mm-hmm. Come to us, baby. All right, hot takes.
All right. Yeah, swipe will be for like if we agree with the hot take and then skip if we disagree.
Okay, perfect. Garnacho will become world class. Oh, this is hella sad. Just like watching him from like where he started off at United to now, kind of sad how it's fallen off, but uh bias aside, I think Skip.
I feel like he has the potential to be world class.
Mentality's up there for being world class.
Yeah, that's a big one. And he's got the skill set. It's just definitely he just needs to be more consistent, I guess. And his decision making sometimes he just like tries to do too much, but I feel like it's just because of the bright lights at United and he also like added that pressure on him just because y'all didn't have other players to rely on.
Hmm. I think the other thing that could stop him from being world class is I feel like a lot of people that are world class for some reason, I don't know, it's just like if it's coincidence, but like they're always perceived really well by the media.
Hmm.
Whereas I feel like Garnacho, especially after this year, like his character is kind of already taken a hit. Um, and so like I don't know if that could like also stop him from being in that category.
Yeah, he's always kind of been in the like poor limelight, like even with the national team too.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll have to skip, but I think he can be a very good player, but I just don't think world class.
And I feel like also a reason I would swipe on this is Ten Hag. Um, like he's been around a lot of young talent, and even he said he thinks Garnacho has a potential to become an all-time great. So I feel like you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt, but also like that's a pretty bold statement.
For sure.
And these days, like if you're 23 and you're not like, top of the world, like people view that as being that. But like back in the day, you didn't have that pressure when you were like 23 and like everything's kind of expedited these days.
Definitely the social media aspect of it, for sure. Um, but yeah, I don't see. Sorry, Garnacho. Saka is better than Foden. Oh,
They definitely have two different types of styles of games.
I think this is what
Like,
your taste prefers. Uh, Skip.
oh, I'm swiping on this one.
I think
I
Saka's more consistent.
okay, a question for you, I guess, is like if you think about it right now, like left-footed wingers, Saka, he's one of the top ones, but like, do you think it's harder to find a player like that who can like win you games, or is it harder to find a player that plays like Foden's type of role?
I think someone that plays Foden's type of role.
I feel like it's easier to find someone like Foden. Um,
I think Foden really
who
just had like his one bad year. Yes, not yesterday. Last year was like it was just so bad where his perception's fallen off. Because we got to remember that title winning season, the year before last, there were some where he like took the games by the scruff of the neck, bunch of like winners. Um,
this might be a super hot take, but I think he's at like a he's at a huge risk of like really falling off. Kind of like Grealish. Um,
if he stays at City or in general.
I think he just has to change his game a little. I feel like both at City, but also at in England squad, I feel like he's just gonna be kind of forgotten about because Marmoush is coming in, and I think he like we see his talent and we rate him super high, and he kind of does the same thing as Foden. He's been super successful playing that second striker role. And then for England too, I feel like Jude can do the same things as Foden. Foden's a little more technically gifted, but I mean Jude's not that bad in front of goal, but he can also like offer a lot more box to box.
I think for me, what it comes down to is like if you were to pick one of these players to have for like a full season, I definitely rock with Saka. But like if it was like a one-off game, then like I'd pick Foden, if that makes sense. Because you know, throughout the season, Saka's like he's always gonna deliver minimum of like a seven, whereas Foden like he'll have like 10 out of 10 games like here and there. Like he might not be as consistent, but like the games where he's like on fire, like he's on crazy smoke.
But do you think like this past year, I mean, he was kind of given the keys, no, to City, and he just
Yeah, but I feel like that's I don't know if it's just like one off or like just a really bad year.
yeah, that's what makes me nervous for him is I feel like this was really his year to kind of take off and he didn't. And I guess before the reason he looked good was maybe the system around him because he had fully healthy Rodri who was pinning like the other team back and then De Bruyne was fully healthy, being able to find creative passes and then Holland occupying two center backs, so like Foden was kind of free to roam around.
Mhm.
But like him being the focal point with a lot of those guys missing, he couldn't step up. Whereas Saka, he's like the main man, and he
Yeah.
still delivers.
Hmm. Even for England, Saka, he was like one of the best players on that English squad.
Oh yeah.
Ah, that's a tricky one, but I'll skip.
All right, I'll swipe on this one. Is it a color thing?
No, no. Jude Bellingham deserves Ballon d'Or in the next 3 years. Um,
Or maybe not deserve. Let's see. Do you think he'll win the Ballon d'Or in the next 3 years?
I might have a hot take on top of a hot take.
Oh goodness.
I think one of his teammates, might be winning a Ballon d'Or before him with the new manager.
Who's that? Vinny?
Nah, I think Arda Güler.
Ooh.
I think Arda Güler is about to have one of the craziest. like see revivals and seasons in itself.
You think he'll be the next Wirtz?
He might be better, man. I think I think if it wasn't for Xavi Alonso, like Jude obviously might just because it's how important he is, but I think now I think all eyes are like gonna shift to Arda Güler, where he's gonna be like he might be the main man for Madrid.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be. I think Güler is definitely gonna have a different. I don't think Xavi Alonso is gonna play him through the right
Mm-mm.
solely like Carlo Ancelotti was.
Hmm.
But when I was thinking about this, I Jude has definitely been the most important player for Madrid, I think, and kind of under. Not really, but I feel like tension's all been like, oh, Vinny, Mbappe, and stuff. But I feel like Jude is always doing the dirty work too for the team.
Yeah. Saw
Uh,
that last year. He didn't get the GAs like his first year, but I think last year you really saw both sides of his game.
mhm. It's just hard to tell, I guess, in the next three because there's so many top players, and I feel like with the Ballon d'Or, it's kind of whoever kind of wins the most trophies.
Hmm. Yeah, and the Ballon d'Or is also like so inflated with the GAs.
hmm So I
Oh.
think that kind of hurts his uh stature. But like if England can go far too,
Mm,
then Bellingham definitely has a case because
yeah.
he's gonna be the main man there too.
Hmm.
So I'll probably skip on that one, but you read my mind.
Goulet, the real deal. Swipe.
Yeah, swipe. That's easy. He was just not used correctly, I feel like,
Not at all. Yeah.
and not given the chance, enough
Mm-mm.
chances.
He's he's basically like his international counterpart back in the days like Ozil, like just a luxury player to have. Easy swipe.
hmm
Holland is one dimensional. I think that's a swipe, but caveat, he's a very good one dimensional.
Yeah, I'm swiping on this, which is kind of sad because at Dortmund, I don't think he was. I feel like his game's gone down since he's joined City, and I don't know if it's because of Pep, but
It's got to be because even the Salzburg, Dortmund, like his link up plays were granted the level of play in those leagues are like slightly lower, but his link up play was pretty elite, not elite, but
Mm.
it's pretty good. Whereas City is he's just a very you know what you're gonna get out of him, but
Yeah,
he's very good at it.
yeah. He also just like relies heavy on his teammates and like service from his teammates.
Hmm.
And I feel like he's definitely struggled against teams that defend pretty deep.
And I wouldn't say like one dimensional is like any knock either, because there are players that are like one dimensional but are really good. Like for example, like Robin, like you knew exactly what he was gonna do, um,
hmm
but you could never stop it. So I don't think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best finishers of all time, though.
Hmm.
Holland. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed on that one. Vinny wouldn't be considered one of the best players if he was in the Premier League.
I'm
Let's
swiping on
see.
this one. And I do think he's really good, but I don't think he's at the level people think he is. I feel like one, he definitely gets a lot of that Madrid PR. Um, and he definitely benefited from playing alongside Benzema, Cruz, and Modric. And he also like in the Premier League, that type of level where the physical aspect of the game is at a whole different level. I feel like he would struggle with that part.
Yeah, I think he would show that Premier League purely with physicality aspect,
I think he would still be really good, but I don't know if he would
same levels.
same level, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the Real Madrid PR is like really good.
hmm
Because even for Brazil, like he kind of drip, not drips, drops in form a bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, I'll have to swipe here too. As much as I like Vinny, yeah, swipe. But Toro Martinez isn't top five in his position. Trying to run through top five right now, real quick in my head.
All right, let's do it.
Isak,
Yeah. Isak
Haaland.
number one. Holland is up there. Holland's better than Martinez, you're saying?
hmm Um, who else we got? I'd still take Victor Osimhen over Martinez. But I would take Martinez as a top. I think he makes top five.
Yeah, I think so too. Would you still say like Harry Kane is top in the world? I would consider him
I would still take
top five.
Kane. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Martinez is better than like Lewandowski.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, Martinez top five. He's got a lot of attributes a lot of strikers don't have.
Yeah, I think he squeezes in there. Feel like Mbappe too, depending on how you categorize him.
hmm I think
So you
Mark.
got, so you would say Isak, Holland, Kane. Would you say Mbappe? It's three so far.
No, just so I would still classify Mbappe as a winger, even though that's a hard one, Mbappe. No, I wouldn't put Mbappe strikers.
No.
Mm-mm.
We have Nicholas Jackson four.
Yo, uh, since we're on the hot take one, I saw for transfers you didn't have it on there, but I saw a rumor through TalkSport Twitter account that tweeted that apparently Arsenal have sparked interest in Nicholas Jackson.
Oh, dude, I hope not.
That'd be a crazy move.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Nicholas Jackson to transform as a winger almost again with the lap. Oh, that
Mm.
partnership would be crazy.
Yeah, I'll put Martinez top five though.
Yeah, I think he'll be filling the fifth position.
hmm Underrated. Very
Hmm.
unselfish player. Next, VAR has been good.
I'm swiping.
Yeah, I think it's been good. I'm
Yeah,
swiping too.
overall, I feel like there's always ways to improve it, but it's definitely saved some calls, like some errors and missed things that you just
Exactly.
miss with the human eye.
Yeah, because nowadays you can't really put the blame on like a bad decision.
I will say the only stick I have with VAR is um, a lot of times they'll kind of replay things in like super slow motion and just makes
Mhm.
things look worse than it is in like live speed. You're able to like nitpick everything that like you probably shouldn't.
That and then the only other one I have is referees need to grow a pair of balls more and stick with their decision. Like when the VAR thing comes through their mic and they're like, when VAR can't decide and they tell the referee to have a second look, it's like that doesn't mean change your original decision. That just means like
Yeah.
confirm your decision.
Hmm. That's a good point.
But overall, to your point, I think VAR has been good.
Yeah.
Now, the offside rule or the offside technology, they need to step
Speed
that
it
up.
up.
Yeah, for real. FIFA Club World Cup is good for the sport and will become a major tournament. Yeah, you were telling me about the prize money. I did not realize how hefty it was.
Yeah, $1 billion in total. I know the fan turnout hasn't necessarily been great because of just it's a tournament that's not well respected necessarily.
hmm
But I mean, there's a lot of backing from Saudi now, and teams are potentially like South American teams. If they can get far in the tournament, they can double their annual revenue already.
Um, so I think I guess it's I'm one of those people that fit in the category that doesn't like the change. Um, so that's why I'll say it's not good, especially with players not getting the adequate rest
Mhm.
participating in these tournaments. So it could be like more risk for injury just because they're not getting time off. Um, so for that reason, I don't think it's good for the sport and become a major tournament. I don't. It could, but I don't think it will. Like, it's never gonna surpass like the Champions League.
I think it can become a major tournament. To your point, maybe not. They should maybe do something like in the World Cup where it's every 4 years, maybe just doing it every few years versus every year, because that it's a toll on the players. But it's also the one time that we get to see, because previously we'd see like the largest, like the Champions League winner and then the South American, um, whatever tournament winner that is, like they face each other. But that's only
Hmm.
one game. But like this is cool to like have clubs represented from Asia, Africa, South America, and Europe all play together.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
But I
I,
will say,
I
like,
feel like from a progressive like point of view, it would be pretty cool.
mhm.
Um, I do like that point though, doing it like a every couple years one instead of like an annual.
Yeah, just like the World Cup. But I do feel like they need to do a better way instead of just inviting, for example, they've invited the largest teams from South America, like River Plate and Boca Juniors and uh, Flamengo. Like, I feel like it's just gonna widen the gap between those top teams in South America,
Hmm.
even Africa and Asia versus like the other teams. So if they can somehow like make it where some of those lower teams can come in
Hmm.
and participate in the tournament, and then they can potentially win some money, go back home, and kind of build their team up. Or
They
else
should
that
do
gap, I
like
feel like, is going to get wider.
they should do like top. If you finish like top five in your respective leagues, you get the invite. And then for like
Yeah.
smaller nations, you should finish as champion. Only the champion gets invited, or maybe top two. So it's like slightly more representation.
Yeah, and I think it also helps with everyone wants to go to Europe to play, but I feel like this helps put other countries on the map and maybe keep some of their talent.
But then also like as a counterpoint, um, like let's say the like I just mentioned, like if you're top five, you get invited to it, then it's like with the money, because we saw how like for Premier League, for example, teams that are coming from the championship, they go right back down. So then, like with
Mhm.
this, obviously it's gonna be like the bigger teams that get invited, and then they'll just get more money. So then I feel like the gap's just gonna keep growing and growing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. But like, there needs to be a way for
Oh, okay.
smaller teams to get invited too. Some, I'm not sure, maybe a lottery-based system or something.
Hmm. Yeah,
But I
it'll be
like the idea
interesting.
of like having the whole world kind of be involved in
Hmm.
the tournament.
It's almost like the European, not the Super League thing that they're trying to do, but in I guess a cooler format.
I feel like right now they're inviting the large teams because they're trying to put the tournament on the map.
That makes sense. Okay. Um, yeah, and I also didn't realize I was asking you what channel that Chelsea Benfica game was. That DAZN channel. I didn't realize that's like a
Yeah.
Saudi-based like channel.
Yeah, they invested a ton of money into that.
Mm.
So I'll probably swipe on that one.
How am I reading your mind? Saudi league become top five league in 10 years. I'll swipe.
Yeah, I'm swiping. They
I
just have
think
so much money.
obviously Ronaldo, like him going there, influenced the older generation. But then once John Duran moved, then it was really starting to heat up a bit.
Yeah,
And again,
especially.
it's one of those where like you just have to accept change is inevitable in the game.
Mhm. I mean, Ronaldo, but even like Benzema coming off like historic season and then leaving was kind of a shock. But when Benzema happened, I was like, oh, this is about to be seismic change.
Because it was literally after his Ballon d'Or year.
Yeah.
And now you got one of the most elite coaches uh, leaving the Inter project to go there. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I guess you just gotta accept the change. Changes will happen in the game, so yeah, I'll swipe.
Do you think it's good for soccer?
Uh, I th yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
Um, I guess I mean you always want to see like the best of because Champions League is so popular, you always want to see the best in like those tournaments where obviously if the like crazy good players go to Saudi, like you'll miss out on the Champions League of them playing there, but. I guess then that's where the Club World Cup comes into play. You see like
Hmm.
all the top talents.
And I feel like the Saudi League definitely won't be like the same passionate fans necessarily because, you grew up watching Chelsea, the Milans, United, but like and also you grew up in those neighborhoods and a lot of those star players, have passion for those teams, but like the Saudi League definitely is more of a money grab, but you're gonna get so much talent that people are gonna watch because it's gonna be so entertaining to see the top
Yeah.
players.
That's the only thing I don't like about like the Saudi League is like when players, especially the young players go there, it's like we always I mean they completely have their reasons.
Mhm.
But it's like we definitely know why you're going there. It's definitely for the cash.
Yeah.
Um and then to your point about like how growing up people always watch like Chelsea and stuff. It is crazy, like if you think about it, going back to United, if we actually shit the bed now with like Cunha and Embuemo, it might be a long time before we're ever good again because like we're 27, Cunha and them are about like 25, 26, so they're like the generation where they watched United be great. And, like that's the last.
Mm.
So now it's like all these other teams.
Damn, you're out here exposing our age.
Neymar will never be remembered as an all-timer. Wipe. Very sad, but I think that's true. And we will never forgive Colombia for that one player kneeing him in the back because he was having a crazy World Cup run that year.
Dude, he's one of the most talented players I've ever seen. Um, he just, I feel like him not winning things is really gonna hurt. Like winning
He would have
enough.
been he would have been an all-timer if he won that Champions League with PSG.
Yeah. I don't know, but like part of me, this is tough because like Neymar, personally, for like me watching him, I feel like he's a top five player I've ever watched,
Hmm
set my eyes on. But like, unless you're, because like, us, we know Maradona's an all-timer because we've seen those clips and uh, because we're kind of like soccer nerds, but like to a casual fan, they know Maradona because he's so iconic and he won so many things. And he was like a generate like he really changed the game. Pele, like his record, but like Neymar doesn't really have the records or the accolades necessarily. And he's kind of lost in the era of Messi and Ronaldo.
If Messi and Ronaldo didn't exist, like he'd have a Ballon d'Or in there. Uh, it's sad. I feel like he's gonna go down as like one of those like streets won't forget type players, but like
That's it.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of disrespectful because I don't think he was more than just the streets not forget. Like he was, I think he should be an all-timer, but I think that's just the category he'll fall into.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately. Neymar, I love you. I'm sorry.
Managers. All
All
right.
right. So these are either hot takes or managers that have changed. So we'll swipe or skip depending on if we agree or disagree.
Thomas Frank will turn Spurs into a serious club. Because I like Thomas Frank, I'm gonna say swipe.
Yeah, I think he's a top manager. I think Spurs have like the attacking talent, but they'll improve greatly under him because of what he's proven.
He'll provide structure.
Oh yeah. I mean, he had Ben Rama looking like an all-timer. He had Watkins, he changed him from like a winger to a striker.
Hmm.
And then he adapted with like Tony and then Wissa. So I think my bold take though, I know we've kind of talked about Tell being um not he didn't look great for Spurs and maybe a disappointment, but I think he's gonna have a breakout year this coming year.
Ooh, I have to
That's my
hold your word
prediction.
on that.
I think he gets goals and assists. I could see him getting 12 to 16
Oh, interesting.
in the Premier League. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to keep your word on that. Tuchel to England is an upgrade from Southgate. That's uh this one's kind of hard because of the statement, but I think from like pure coaching, obviously the swipe, but from
Yeah.
man management, I think Southgate, he was just a really good man manager.
Yeah, completely agree. Two different styles, but I know the reason I put this one is because I've been seeing a lot of backlash from for Tuchel,
Hmm.
just on the results that they've had, and I guess not playing the most entertaining style, but I feel like he's a proven winner.
Yeah, and he was never one of those entertaining type managers, but he's just one of those that gets the job done type managers.
Yeah.
Inzaghi will never be forgotten about for being one of the best managers in the world. Oh, this one's sad. I'll have to skip.
Yeah,
I
I
wish
don't
he
know.
stayed a bit longer, man.
Yeah,
He is
I
literally
don't.
just so close.
But if Saudi does become a top league, he might. No, actually, I'll skip too. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be remembered. Like, I think he might be forgotten about. Fortunately.
It's really sad because that Inter Milan team he worked with, um, in both finals he took them to like they're not like they weren't elite at all, but mm, sad days, man. A
Yeah, he.
manager bag chasing now? Come on, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, if Saudi gets big, he could be like the first coach that like how we
Oh,
talk about Sir Alex and stuff.
uh-huh. Just changing the game. Slot can surpass Klopp as Liverpool manager. Ooh, I think so.
I'm skipping in terms of I think Slot can win more trophies, but I think Klopp, like he'll be. I don't think anyone can surpass him as a Liverpool legend coach.
Mm. I don't know if the fans like Slot can ever get the same like connection and love with the
Yeah,
fans like Klopp
exactly.
did. I just don't see that happening.
It kind of reminds me of like Steven Gerrard. Like he never won the Premier League and stuff, but like I feel like he's gonna go down as like Liverpool's like
Hmm.
no one can surpass him. Maybe Salah, but like
Yeah. Okay. That's a very good point. Klopp's the Gerrard of
yeah.
managers for Liverpool. Yeah, I see that. Gattuso will restore Italian glory. Oh, dude, I hope so. Gattuso. Um, I think he could. I'll swipe.
Yeah, I'll swipe. He doesn't play the greatest game either, but I think he just gets the game or the job done. And I feel
Hmm.
like if you look back on Italy's World Cup wins, like a lot of those teams weren't super enjoyable to watch either, but they they were able to win the whole thing.
Yeah, and as club manager, Gattuso wasn't bad, but it's just his hot head, like
Yeah.
always just have fall offs where I don't think he'll have that issue with Italy.
And you can tell he's like super into like the tactics and coaching. Like I
Mhm.
know he's bringing Bonucci into the staff. He was saying, and he's recognized like the huge issue. He was saying is like Serie A now is 70% of Serie A is foreign players, and so he's like, we need to build that pipeline of Italian youngsters, and that's why he's kind of bringing in Bonucci.
Okay. That makes sense.
So I feel like he kind of has a game plan.
hmm Get a vision.
Mhm.
Well, in his own words, Italy sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
He will
Classic.
definitely provide entertainment.
Oh, without a doubt. Entertainment and passion out there, man.
All right, so now we have a bunch of kits that have been leaked or, announced by the team. So we'll go through these pretty quick. There's a ton of these. And so we can swipe or skip depending on if we like it, and then we can just give maybe a rating, like 1 out of 10, how we would rate these kits.
Whew, this one's fire. That's a swipe.
Yeah, swipe. I'll probably just say like, yeah, probably 10 out of 10.
Quick question though, since it is on inner, which inner jersey is better, the 0910 or this one?
I love the old school look.
Yeah, I love the old schools too. I feel like you can never beat the retros.
Yeah.
E. It
There was a
looks
lot of
like
slack on this one.
I say like a 4.
I like it though. I'm giving this another 10 out of 10 swipe for me.
10 out
Yeah,
of 10.
a lot of people were hating on this one.
Yeah, that's kind of nasty, especially the one in the middle. It's like
Dude, I would wear that around the streets. Looks fancy. Elegant.
it looks like a female clothing, bro. The one in the like that red thing is just unappealing. Good.
Definitely a fashion statement.
Oh my gosh, this is ugly too.
Yeah, this one was ugly.
So
I'll say
maybe a
skip.
3.
Yeah.
Ooh, this one's
This,
clean.
yeah, I love the Rangers look.
I
This is fire.
This is like the retro vibes.
Yeah, I love this one. I love the color too that they use scheme, like the white.
You gotta keep it like just simple at times.
Hmm.
Yeah, easy swipe. I might have to cop this one.
Yeah, it's clean.
Ah, skip.
Yeah, it's the sleeves for me, dude. And the random like it's like the Tottenham layered on top of a Nike on top of the AIA. Like
Yeah,
just
it's nasty. Nasty work, whoever.
and I feel like if you go back real quick, the I don't know why, but the material just looks like it'd be very sticky on you and like show your nips.
Yeah, it does not look like a fun jersey to sweat on. Like,
Yeah.
it looks heavy.
Hmm.
This one's pretty clean.
This is super clean.
I just
Swiping.
I just like the I think Newcastle are also sponsored by Castore for their jerseys, but like just their logo and brand logo in general is so clean.
And I think Wolves are too.
Oh, are they?
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, this one's clean though.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Uh, this one's average. I'll let you
I'm skipping. I didn't think it was too nice.
skip.
Yeah.
Now, Arsenal, they might be number 2 in the tables, but their kick game always be fire.
Yeah, I agree.
Swipe.
Swipe. They don't really change it up too much, but it's always clean.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that embroidering. I
Theater of Dreams.
I like it.
The collar is a little weird.
It's not like red red. It's like It's like an off red, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
It's a different red. It's like a darker red almost.
Hmm.
But yeah, the collar is weird for me. I don't know why. Like they should just connect the whole black all the way down.
Yeah, that'd be clean.
That
That'd be
would
a
have been
lot
nice.
cleaner.
Yeah.
I'll still swipe just 'cause I like the little detail there.
Yeah, I love that theater of dreams.
Barca. Ah, Spotify. Y'all could have done so much better.
Skip. It reminds me of like when you were playing Madden, creating jerseys. Like
Yeah,
some kid thought this was cool.
this is not it. I don't like this either.
Ugh, this is the worst. This is a 1 out of 10.
That I think PSG one might be worse. No, I think Tottenham so far. The
Oh yeah, Tottenham is
Tottenham's the
worse.
worst.
Yeah.
But this is up there. Uh,
Oh, I added this because this is the first team with a sponsor on their
oh,
shorts for Testicular Cancer Society. It looks really goofy, but I think we have to give it
men's health
we have to give
swipe.
it we have to give it 10 for that.
Hmm. This almost looks like it's faded. Uh,
Yeah.
I think they were. I think whoever created this thought they were onto something, but
They like forgot to finish painting or something.
hmm.
I'm skipping. It reminds me of like you build it on Roblox or something.
Yeah, it's very Minecraft-ish. Skip. Ooh. Uh, I like the pink on there, but then again, it's one of those like Madden, you just created your own jersey a bit.
Yeah, I think I don't like how the stripes are different. They just need to have like just the same
Mm.
width stripes. So yeah, this is the last one. So I'll probably skip too.
Yeah. And this is exactly the when I used to play Madden and create my own jerseys, exactly the type of color scheme I'd go with, like the neon green with the black.
Mm, yeah, I love that pink though. But
That's the last one.
yep.
Dang, that was a fun game.
Yeah. So li those listening, hope you enjoyed that. We'll definitely come up with some more games, especially during the break in the season.
Hmm. Um, I got one question for you though. There is one video that resurfaced, and I think might have been like the most popular video. Uh, Dumfries versus Acuna. Who you taking on that fight?
Taking Acuna. I feel like the
I'm
South
taking
American
Dumfries. Oh,
I feel like the South American like feisty blood. I feel like he wins that one.
you want to explain to listeners what happened in case they didn't see? It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, so the two of them have been having beef since the World Cup. Cunha like supposedly dove um, against Netherlands, and we know how that game went in the World Cup, and Netherlands ended up losing in penalties. But also that game was like feisty. Benches cleared, and then so they always kind of had beef starting then. And then in the FIFA Club World Cup, they were battling one another, and there were just tackles flying between the two of
It
them,
was
and just
scary. So I thought someone was about to go to the hospital the way it
oh
was
yeah,
flying out.
just chirping. Cunha like pulled out his shin guards with his World Cup, the World Cup trophy printed on the shin guard, just shithousery. And then Dumfries like, all right, you want to continue? Let's meet in the locker room off camera. And they start running towards there, but like the players try to grab them and separate them from fighting.
It was chaos, dude. I've
It
never seen
was
anything like it.
it was mad.
That's probably the craziest news I've seen all week.
Oh yeah. But it was entertaining to watch that rivalry. It was so random though, I feel like
Yeah,
this
super
rivalry.
random. Hmm. And
But
then
see, this is why we need the FIFA Club World Cup.
um, congrats to your boys. Moving on. Y'all gave a beating to Benfica 4-1. I
Oh yeah.
caught the first half and some of the second half, but then there was a rain delay. But um, yeah, y'all were looking pretty good. Uh,
In your backyard, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah. So you guys move on. I don't know who you guys have next round, but um, I saw you guys already recouped the money for Delap just
Oh
for
yeah,
the tournament.
clutch.
Um, he's looking pretty good for you guys, fitting in pretty well already.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Uh,
think we play we play Palmeiras on like the next game. So
gotcha. Okay. Um,
we'll have a we'll be playing Willian Estavio out there, future Chelsea legend.
the one one player I didn't see for Chelsea though was that Andre Santos dude. I don't know if he's like technically on the squad just yet, but I didn't see him get minutes yet.
Yeah, he's been on the bench. I don't think he made it this past game, but not
Okay,
sure why he's not getting playing time.
gotcha. Um, so I'm sure as the episodes or not episodes, as the tournament progresses, we'll keep you all posted on Chelsea's progress. See if they secure the. Oh, you guys could be quadruple. I'll do the quadruple.
Yeah. PSG currently giving Inter Miami a clapping 4-0.
Oh, geez. They give anyone with the name Inter clapping. Um, but yeah, we'll keep you guys posted on the Club World Cup progress. And then again, as it's still the off season, maybe come up with a few other games. Um, but ladies and gentlemen, that's all for this week. Thanks again for hanging with us. We'll be back next time to talk more footy, highlight game-changing super transfers, um, and drop takes hotter than a derby day. If you enjoyed the chat, make sure to subscribe and drop us a rating and share the pod with friends and family. But until then, keep the football chatter alive, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.